So when I started this channel a few years ago, one thing I always said I would do is bring you guys phones that I believe are really good and also have insane value. And I think the OnePlus 13 and the Pixel 9 Pro XL are two of those phones. And if you look closely, they are similar in every way when it comes to the build quality, the display, and even the software. Oxygen OS is very close to the Pixel experience or the Pixel OS with a few caveats that we'll get into. A like and a sub to the channel would go a long way in helping more people see this video. So, Pixel versus OnePlus. Let's begin. Most people don't know this, but this is my first OnePlus device ever. It's crazy, I know, but I think that puts me in the best position for this kind of comparison. And starting with my thoughts on the design and the hardware, the first thing that jumped out to me in the comparison to the Pixel 9 Pro XL is how they managed to keep this phone as thin as possible and still maintain the same weight as the Pixel, which is very impressive. Now, the OnePlus 13 has three colors: black, midnight ocean, and white. I got mine in white because I believe this is the best color. A close second would be the midnight ocean. Black is a little meh for me, nothing really fancy. The sides have the usual aluminum rails, a glass back, or should I call it a silicone polymer back, which is almost a friendly leather design that is soft to the touch. I'm not really sure I really like this because the phone is very slippery and has less of a grip than the Pixel 9 Pro XL. I guess that is thanks to not having the best finger placement on your palm in my experience. And speaking of finger placements, there is the alert slider, and I think every phone should have this. I use this every day. It is very convenient and 100% makes the user experience 10 times better. Overall, I think this design is very clean. The OnePlus logo is right where it's supposed to be, and above that is the camera. This, to me, is a very polarizing design because I'm not sure if I don't like it yet. It takes up a bit of space though, but it also does enough for this to look very, very good. It houses three cameras and a flashlight, which we'll get into very soon. Whereas the Pixel 9 Pro XL's design is the complete opposite of the OnePlus 13 in a few areas. For one, the camera design is more subtle. It has that Cyclops look from the X-Men, and over the last few years, they have done different variations of this design, giving it some sort of a facelift, if you could call it that. It also has an all-square shaped frame with aluminum rails that makes it easier to carry around without a case, which is good and bad at the same time because I have a few scratches, a few marks all around my phone, so if you do need a case, I highly recommend one. It does not have an alert slider like the OnePlus, which I think Google should copy. It just makes a lot of sense when you think about it. This is the part I give my design or hardware choice, and I think this one is straightforward. It's the OnePlus 13. It's thinner, the camera design is distinctive enough to recognize it, the back of the phone is durable with its eco-friendly leather finish, plus that alert slider has made my quality of life a lot better. The display on the OnePlus 13 is the one to beat in 2025, and I think everything you're looking for in a display is right here. So let's break it down. It is a 6.8-inch Pro XDR display with a 1440 by 3168 resolution, which is great for things like gaming or watching a lot of videos. Now, to get the best out of your display, you have to change the resolution in your settings from 1080p to 1440p. Now, one thing OnePlus talked about a lot in its marketing is being the first to get an A++ rating from DisplayMate. Now, I don't know how far that metric goes, but it is big enough for them to have it on their website. Scrolling is also a joy thanks to its 120Hz refresh rates with Dolby Vision. While it is adaptable, I set mine to always be on 120Hz. It does consume more battery, but I believe this is a better experience. Another thing that makes the display the one to beat is how bright the phone can get. At full brightness, you get about 1600 nits, and you know, that's not really crazy, but when under direct sunlight, this goes as far as 4500 nits, which is, now that's crazy. And I think most OEMs will match this in 2025 to keep up with the competition. But even at 1600, it's no different than the other flagship phones with higher brightness, which is a plus. Now, a few more upgrades here is the fingerprint sensor, which is now an ultrasonic fingerprint reader, moving away from the optical fingerprint scanner. It is very responsive as expected without any hiccups so far. The Pixel 9 Pro, the display is also very good. When it came out last August, it was the brightest display at the time, so I expect them to increase it this year. It is also 6.8 inches with an adjustable refresh rate that goes from 1 to 120 with peak brightness as high as 3000 nits. It's just as good as the OnePlus in my opinion in terms of watching content or playing video games. So far, I haven't had any bad experiences. Now, in terms of how you unlock the phone, it also has an ultrasonic fingerprint reader, which is good. Most Android phones are finally getting the program. And speaking of programs, have you ever been locked out of your phone? Maybe you forgot your own password or your parents forgot theirs. It's honestly the worst feeling in the world because getting back into your phone feels impossible. That's where Dr.Fone comes to the rescue. Now, with Dr.Fone's screen unlock feature, you can bypass Android or even iPhone screens without losing your data. It is quick, it is also simple, and saves you from a major headache. And if you're also switching phones, Dr.Fone's WhatsApp transfer feature makes it effortless to move all your chats and media between iOS and Android. No more losing those important memories, so whether it's unlocking your phone or keeping your WhatsApp data intact, Dr.Fone has you covered. If that is something of interest to you, click the link right down in my bio and try it now. Thanks again to Wondershare for sponsoring this video. So battery life on both phones have been very impressive, more so impressive on the OnePlus 13. Granted, this might just be because it's fairly new, but it's better than the start I had on the Pixel 9 Pro XL back in August. So I started testing out the battery on this around 5 a.m. on most days, and 12 hours later, it was still around 45% of battery left, which is very, very good battery life. Now on the Pixel 9 Pro XL, on the other hand, with the same test, same environment, after 12 hours, it was around 15 to 20% left, which is still good, but you get more battery out of the OnePlus 13. With charging, it's also ahead of the Pixel, and I just want to add that this comes with a 100 watts SuperVOOC fast charging brick, something that Google didn't do and you have to buy separately, which is also 45 watts. It's not really ideal. Now the OnePlus can go from 0 to 100% in about 30 minutes give or take, while the Pixel with this 45 watt charger never gave me those kind of statistics. It was like 0 to 100 in an hour or so thereabout. So no doubt the battery life on the OnePlus 13 is better. It will give you more out of your phone, and if you do manage to kill this in a day, you can then charge it from 0 to 100 in 30 minutes. Very impressive. Now, software and performance is where you start to see the similarities between these two phones, almost carbon copies. You can even call them twins if you want to. The OnePlus 13 has the new Snapdragon 8 Elite, and this chip is an absolute beast on paper. But here's the thing, in your day-to-day life or my day-to-day life, I probably did not use its full potential. I tested it with some moderate gaming and the performance was flawless. It felt like the device wasn't even sweating. That's good news because Qualcomm, just like Apple, is now producing chips with a higher performance ceiling. This means that even a few years down the road, the OnePlus 13 will still feel fast. With a 6-year support, that is 4 years of software updates and 2 years of security updates, you won't have to worry about your device slowing down anytime soon. I know in the past, Oxygen OS has always been a hit or miss for a lot of people, but I think they finally cracked the code. The more I use the OnePlus 13 on Oxygen OS 15, the harder it is to find a real issue with the software. It feels polished, refined, and I dare say, actually enjoyable. Pixel 9 Pro XL with the Tensor G4 is just as good as the Snapdragon 8 Elite on the OnePlus 13. Watching videos, playing mobile games, and scrolling on social media is all good. However, there is this misconception that the Pixels are slow, they are laggy, and they do not work properly, which is not true. However, also, I can't really blame people for thinking this way because Google didn't do a great job with their past phones from, say, the Pixel 5 to the Pixel 8, to be fair. But this time around, performance here is very good. Also very good are the AI features. They're similar on both phones. You have things like circle to search, photo on blur, and all that good stuff. But Google and the Pixel are far ahead with its own features than the OnePlus 13. If I was going to say who has the better performance of these two phones, it would definitely be the OnePlus 13, and not because the Pixel is horrible, it's very far from it, it's just objectively better and has the better chip inside the phone. So looking at this comparison, it looks like OnePlus has swept all the categories. Well, I think there's one where the Pixel comes out on top, and that is the camera. And yes, you guessed it. Smartphone cameras are the Pixel's bread and butter, especially when it comes to taking pictures. I have said it in the past that I love the pictures on the Pixels because it gets my skin tone very well. The OnePlus 13 is the closest thing to what the Pixel can do. OnePlus leans into heavy contrast and embracing natural shadows, putting out pictures that look like how I remember a scene was. Side by side with the Pixel, they look similar in some cases, but the Pixel looks better in my eye than anything else. Of course, OnePlus has made strides making sure it goes from a B camera to an A camera at best, and I do think that they are on their way to maybe an A+. It has good autofocus, is great for capturing moving subjects, just that in low lights, it's where you begin to see the cracks and where they kind of cut costs just a little bit. Compared to the Pixel, it gets softer, adds more HDR, and does that thing that the Pixel used to do a few years ago, where in low light images you just have a lot of exposure than anything else. The 50 megapixel ultra wide and telephoto lens are decent in comparison, and in low light, the Pixel then blows it out of the water. Video is where I think the Pixel has an edge over the OnePlus 13. Usually, this is where Samsung and Apple take the lead, but in this case, not so much. Video is passable on the OnePlus 13, even though it shoots in 8K 30. I prefer the 4K view on the Pixel itself, and this is without video boost. Would you look at that? The Pixel wins a camera test for both pictures and video. Who would have thought? Not me, but when we look at other factors that are not the camera, I think the OnePlus 13 is the better phone. Better display, better performance, and better battery. Plus, it has a better price. The OnePlus 13 is $899, while the Pixel 9 Pro XL is $999. What else is there to love? But do you guys agree with my pick? Let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, why not give it a like and a sub to the channel? It's free and it helps the channel continue to produce more high quality videos like this. Thank you guys for watching this video. My name is KJ and I'll catch you guys in the next one.